Well, I've got no idea what's happening there. Genuinely got no idea. Not a clue. Not a clue what's going on. Right. Oh, okay. Is this one working then? Oh God, no, I'm being pinged. Right, I've got no idea what's actually going on now. I appear to be running two lives. Um, I've got this one where apparently 14 people are watching. The other one, it won't let me end it. So that's showing as scheduled for 11, 9 people waiting, not started. Weirdest thing, the picture was on and everything, and it was showing everything. It was showing the chat and all of that. And then it was just saying, I took a screenshot to show you. Oh, hang on, I'm being pinged. And then, and it's saying audio or visual not available. So I don't know what's going on. It wouldn't let me end it. It's still going on. Not a clue. But okay, well, I guess we're here now. This seems to be working. Sorry about that, darling. It's genuinely not a clue what was going on. So have you had to hop over onto another live? You're not still watching Wednesday Night Live, are you? Or are you? Or are you watching a new one? I did reboot. I rebooted the app and then I rebooted the phone. And no matter what I did, it still just wasn't doing. Oh, you had to swap. Thank you, John. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So you're watching the new one. Not a clue what went on there. Everything was as normal. I started it. It started as it normally does. And then it just went into this kind of grey screen where I could still see your comments and everything. But you couldn't see me. And I was just getting a message saying audio and visual not available. So not a clue. But the old one not working for me, but you missed loads of chat. All right. Right. Well, let's see. Can I jump back onto the other one? Yes, I can. One person waiting. And right. So I'll go through this chat first, then, shall I? God above. Group hope for everyone from Barry. Tracy's husband suffers terribly with that. Absolutely crippling. I don't know what that is. Neil says, how are we all? Sophie says, hello, everyone. Ivor says that it's a massive pain in the ass. Where's His Majesty got to? I hate gaming or listening to people talking about it. Right, so I'm missing the beginning of the comment, so I guess we're talking about Trace, who I know has got COVID at the moment. reboot everything. Have you run out of interwebs? No, the interwebs was working. Tally ho, chaps, Pingu Concord. Ah. Right, okay. Okay, so I'll go back to the other one, the one that is working, and go forward. I'll go to top messages. No, I'll go to all messages, won't I? Of course I will. Right, okay, well, 21 minutes late. Let's crack on. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to a really seriously buggered up Wednesday Night Live, where I don't know if I'm coming or going. You probably don't know either. And it sounds like quite a few of you are not too well. So oh dear. Oh, Barry, bloody hell. Oh shit. No, I didn't see that. Oh my God. Oh, Barry. Oh God, and your poor wife. Um, oh Lord. Oh well, we all need to keep our fingers, legs, and everything else crossed for Monday, then, don't we? Bloody hell! Oh God, isn't it awful getting older? It's all around us, or it's happening to us. Barry, I'm so sorry to hear that, and sending, all positive wishes to you and your good lady. Let's hope that the news is good, positive, not the worst, not the it's a screening. Let's hope that all is well. So Trace has got COVID, which let me summarize. I have COVID, says Trace. Andrew has anxiety. I feel that pain. And Barry's partner is seeing a doctor about potential liver cancer. Oh, God above. Oh, dear me. It's just all around us, isn't it? It's all around us. And when you get to a certain age, it's like a sword of Damocles hanging over your head, because obviously you worry about your friends and your family and your nearest and dearest. And there's probably a little part of us that thinks, well, bound to be my turn soon, isn't it? I wonder what'll happen to me. God. Well, let's all cling together and cling to the wreckage, shall we? Gosh, dear me. Oh, I mean, my heart goes out to all of you. I've had one of those funny days. I've had a day that is pretty much just a lost day. The weirdest thing, talking about what we were talking about last night, which caused a bit of a kerfuffle. So apologies to anybody else who was bored out of their skull and doesn't tune in to watch me just talking non-stop. But yeah, after that, Sean, the lovely YouTuber from who's just moved to South Wales, he put uh, God, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be talking about animals again. I apologise to anybody that I offend. Bloody hell. And he just put a thing up saying that his allotment cat had passed away, Rusty. And I don't know why but after everything that we're talking about last night, and it's like a perfect storm. And Facebook Memories just threw up some pictures of cooking fat completely unexpectedly, and I just lost the plot for a couple of hours, cried my eyes out for 2 hours for all of the animals that I've loved and lost, and everybody else who's lost one, and all, and just all the bloody unfairness uh, of life and death and the circle of life and illness and all of that. You know, one of those perfect storm things, and it just totally got to me. I lost the plot, bawled my eyes out for a couple of hours, and then pulled myself together, made lunch, and then went to work. So good. Oh, so it's the perfect end of the day to find out that that you're all getting battered around the head and neck with the slings and arrows of life's outrageous fortune, isn't it? Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear all of that news, and yeah, what can you do? We will cling to the wreckage, darlings. That's what we can do. We will cling together and cling to the wreckage. No cheeseburger, says Jimmy Quinn. I didn't expect General Cheeseburger to be with us tonight. I hope he is, or I hope he pops in, or I hope he's watching but not commenting. But I did think I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have the pleasure of Mark's company tonight. John is with us though, as is Ivor, as is Jimmy Quinn, as is Trace, as is Sophie. Old age can feck off, says Ivor. Well, yeah, totally get that. I mean, it's awful to, just everything about it really. The degeneration, the fact that all that lies ahead are potential issues, or that, our bodies are falling apart. But I still think that growing old is better than the alternative. And that's what I try and tell myself. And, when little things get to you, like the fact that, well, my teeth, or lack of them. So my teeth are falling out, and the ones that are left, I'm in constant pain and agony with them. It's got to the stage now where I'm genuinely struggling to eat now. And it was amazing. I know my speech has been affected by the teeth, but it was amazing putting that video up that I put up tonight from 2013 and listening to what I sounded like when I was able to speak properly. And now I'm just a walking speech impediment. But I do try and tell myself that, the friends and family that I've lost would no doubt much rather be in my situation than theirs. So, yeah, I guess you have to count your blessings and, oh, God, I don't know. I don't know. It can be very hard, can't it? But I think the upside of that, and there has to be an upside, there usually is to most things. Then the upside to that is that as we do get a little bit older, perhaps we do appreciate things a little more deeply. We take time to stop and smell the roses. We realize that any of our time on this little spinning ball is limited. And we never know when the big man upstairs is going to say, come in number 69, your time is up. So maybe we make the best of things. That's not a very happy subject, is it? So let's try and cheer up. Oh, you're all having a massive group hug. I don't blame you. Can I join in? Oh, and Barry says she's making me watch The Notebook tonight. I will happily watch it as payment for her being okay. The Notebook was Boo's favourite film. She would watch it again and again, and I'm ashamed to say I've never seen it. I didn't once sit down and watch it with her, which of course I should have done. But good for you. I missed most of last night's stream, says Ivor. What was Boaty waffling on about? My health update is, and this is from John, I've got a health check on Tuesday for a scan. Oh, God, no. Oh, no, hang on. As my last blood tests have come back, sorry, I thought that was blood clot has come back. And my consultant said in a message to me that they are 99.9% positive I have Crohn's disease. Oh, blood and sands. It never rains but that it pours. Skick says it's not really the subject's boat, it's the fact that you go on too long. Says who? Who writes the rules? Who writes the rules for these live streams? Where is the big book of rules that tells me what I have to do on a live stream that I give up my time? I mean, you all do as well. I know that. Okay, for those who aren't aware, this is what happened last night. I'll scroll through the comments before we get to that. An HP source or something. Is Cheesy okay? I have no idea what's happened. Oh, we'll get to that. I demand Boaty phones Cheesy to see where he is. You do sound different, says Barry Scrotter. I know I do. I had a front teeth missing for 2 years and I hated it. Was that cheeseburger pinging? No, it wasn't. Just drink a case of Mountain Dew. Those teeth will be out in no time. Cheeseburger is on the other live stream. He says it's better than this shit. And Mustard says, hello, chaps. All right, well, I'll quickly go over what happened yesterday. In a nutshell, you know what I'm like? I sometimes get caught up with the subject and talk about it for a while. And last night I talked about my previous pets, and Cheeseburger didn't like that at all. And he said, I can't take any more of this. I'm off, which is fair enough. No, no problem. And, tongue in cheek, I titled the video last night, whatever I titled it. What did I title it? God, I can't even remember that now. Bloody hell. Hold on. I titled it. Oh yeah, that was it. I didn't want to play. Miami Vice throwback, which is what I was accused of looking like, so I was wearing a different jacket, causes Cheeseburger to throw in the towel. That's what I titled it. And then in the very small hours of the morning, Cheesy put a comment up on the live in the comment section saying, I didn't throw in the towel. I just decided to go, and that's my right. And then he said, you were boring. Nobody comes along to listen to you do a 30-minute monologue. You need to learn to interact with your audience. And this was at like 2:45 in the morning or something like that. I was, I'd had a glass or two of wine, and I thought, I'm not having that. So I replied to it, and it was quite a long reply. And then when I woke up this morning, it was all deleted. So there you go. That brings you up to speed with that. Hello, Rover Jesus, the Son of God. I love a cat as long as it's not pooing in my garden, says Barry Scrotter. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the crack. So I apologize if I occasionally talk about things that you personally are not interested in. And I apologize if I sometimes talk for what one or more of you consider to be too long on one particular subject or without referencing your comments. But I don't know what the rules are for these things. I don't know if there are any rules. I mean, I kind of thought that, I love the community idea, but I'm also part of the community. And sometimes I guess I need to talk as well. It's my outlet. A lot of you guys have got families or people around you. I haven't got any of that. I live alone. I have people around me at work, but we don't speak the same language. It's not possible to have the kind of dialogue that I can have in my own mother tongue. And I guess that sometimes when I'm amongst friends, um, I will rattle on about something. I didn't think that I was committing a major crime, to be honest, and I didn't massively appreciate being taken to task about it in the comments like that. So I don't know. I mean, I would have thought talking about pets, you'd be on safe ground. I mean, social media is full of bloody cats and dogs pictures, isn't it? You would have thought that would be absolutely fine and inoffensive. God Almighty, of all the things that I've talked about on these live streams, of all the things I've talked about, and of all the things to get upset about, dead pets, bloody hell. Oh, I hope you never listen to Paul O'Grady on a Sunday, another one who's spending time being dead for tax purposes. Oh, God. Uh, would you have, says Black Lions, would you have that Lexus back? A nice big wafty V8 seems like it would suit you. I always fancied the 2.5 twin turbo Sora because I'm a bit of a chav. He said that, not me. You're actually a very sensitive man, says Mustard, but you rarely show it. Well, I try not to. Uh, and that Lexus looked hot, says Barry. It's a weird thing, that video. I completely forgot that I'd done that. Completely forgotten. I'd bought or been given a windscreen mount thing. I had an iPhone 4 at the time. I'd just gone over to iPhone. And I don't know why. I just recorded a thing in the car for no particular reason. And then I found that I could upload it directly to YouTube. And so I did. And then that was it. And I forgot about doing anything like that for another 10 years. It was only ever that one video. And it wasn't edited or anything like that. I didn't know an edit suite existed or anything of that nature. I just did that film. I had an idea when I was doing it. I had an idea. Well, I actually called it Boaty's Guided Tours. And I had a vague idea that I could do a series of these things. But when I actually tried to do it, it turned out to be really very difficult. And I'm no good at it. I'm still not. I'm hopeless at talking to the camera. Like with Mustard, it comes very easily. With me, it doesn't. I know I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it, actually. And I feel very silly and self-conscious. And that's why that one was only a one-off. But I completely forgotten that I did that. And whatever brought it back in the old memory bank, oh God, I had some of those really, really, yes, I have. I have got it set to all chat. Yeah, I have. I actually have. Um, yeah, I had one of those really, really vivid dreams last night, and I forgot about that until this evening. It was very vivid at the time, but then when I woke up, I forgot about it or whatever. And it was one of those dreams where you wake up and it's really early and you know that something's wrong. I woke up at about seven, half seven, something like that, and my pillows are uh, soaked with sweat. I've been sweating my tits off. And the dream was, now I can't remember it exactly, but Jeremy Clarkson invited me round to his place with a few close mutual friends. And we were going to have don't do the obvious jokes. We were going to have a water sports session because he had this new, like, like a watery leisure park thing built at his house type thing, and a few of us were invited round. And then it all gets a little bit hazy. I mean, I went round. Of course I would. I like JC. He's a good mate of mine, or he was in the dream. Anyway. And I was really quite excited about this. So, I went really looking forward to it. And when I got there, it was all a bit weird because instead of the very close group of friends, like 4, 5, 6 of us, there were a hell of a lot of people there. And I didn't know them. And then it all gets really hazy that I remember going up to do the water shoot thing. And a couple of people went down the water chute. By this time, I'm in my swimming trunks. And I got to the top of the water chute. And as I'm looking down it, I'm thinking, well, it's very obviously just broken. So instead of being a smooth water chute going down, then it had broken like that. So if this is the water chute, it had broken like that. So I was just going to go straight down there and fall straight down onto the, a long way down onto the floor. But for some reason, that didn't put me off. And I was just going to go through with it. I think because I was feeling a weird kind of peer pressure because I'm around all of these people that I don't know. And so so I got down as if to go down onto it. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not looking forward to this and I'm trying to think if there's any way I can bounce my bum over the gaping hole and carry on down. And then Jeremy, bless him, Jeremy shouted out, "Boaty, it's broken." I said, "But what do you want me to do?" He said, "I want you to come back. You can't go down there." And then some other things happened. And then I kind of woke up. All very weird. Some sort of anxiety dream, no doubt. I probably am a bit more sensitive than I let on, and I hate the idea of upsetting people or annoying people or hurting people. Like the thing with my neighbour who pulled up right behind me tonight. He got home literally 5 seconds after I did, and kindly let me know that my offside rear, I've got no brake light and no tail light, but I have got a reversing light apparently. So I thought the whole unit must have just gone. Maybe one of the connectors has broken down, but maybe it's just coincidence and 2 of the bulbs have gone. They can't have been gone for very long because Sheaton went through the MOT not too long ago. So that's a job I'm going to have to do tomorrow. Try and sort that out. Hopefully it'll just be a couple of bulbs. And the other thing I need to do tomorrow is to get some brake fluid. Because just started tonight, if I take off at full bore, the brake warning light flickers on. So I'm assuming that my brake fluid is low, and that when I really lurch the car on a takeoff, it's just triggering the low fluid alarm warning thing. Why was I talking about Jeremy Clarkson in my dream? God almighty, I'm really going off on a tangent now. So I must have been subconsciously upset when I went to bed last night, and subconsciously upset when I no, it's not the handbrake nail. I don't think it is. But there we are. There we are. Oh yeah, it could be that. It could be the good quality wine that I wasn't used to. Oh, and on that subject, Skip, who very kindly sent me the wine. I've had another package arrive today, and he'll deny it possibly, but I know this is from Skip because look, You see that? Boat. He's the only one who calls me Boat, or the only one who invariably calls me Boat. So I'm wondering what this is now. I'm wondering whether it's going to be something lovely, like the wine, and it really was lovely, or whether it's going to be another really useful present like that book, which I forgot to present to Mustard, but I will do it next Monday in front of an audience. Oh dear. Right, let's catch up with your comments before I offend anybody else. I did wonder about that, Barry Scratter. Yeah, I did wonder about that. I did wonder if it triggered some bad memories, but I can't know that, can I? I mean, and yeah, if it is something like that, then yeah, Trace, quite possibly. Quite possibly. I mean, there's a lot that you can't know, isn't there? But as I pointed out in my very lengthy reply to the Good Cheeseburger, that I don't know if you guys have ever tried to do anything like this, but when you sit down and talk for an hour or 2 hours or more, 4 to 5 times a week, and you're not doing it professionally, then it's going to be kind of a personal thing. And yeah, sometimes I'm just going to go off on things. And if you need to disappear for whatever reason, whether it triggers a memory or whether I'm talking about cycling and you're not interested, feel free to bugger off. Of course, I won't be offended. Of course, I won't. At the end of the day, trying to do a live stream, then you're trying to do a couple of things. You're trying to talk about what interests you or me. You're trying to involve the community, because I always wanted this to be a community thing, and God, what a fabulous community thing we've managed to make together. And you're trying to talk about something that's of interest to you guys, and we're trying to bring it all together. And it won't always work. Sometimes I'm going to talk about things that are important to me, or that I want to talk about at that particular moment in time, or that's what pops into my brain, because these are not scripted. I don't work out in advance what I'm going to say. I don't think anybody does. Mustard certainly doesn't. And sometimes that sort of thing is going to happen. I don't mind people buggering off and saying blah, blah, blah. But, to tell me that nobody's interested in a 30-minute monologue, and that I need to engage with the audience. Well, I just took well, that's a bit bloody offensive, isn't it? I mean, for starters, if you don't want to watch somebody riff off on a monologue or whatever for 30 minutes, don't watch a YouTube video, whether it's a live stream or a video, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be somebody talking about something that they want to talk about for possibly 30 minutes. Some live streams, it could be 4 hours. So in some ways, you guys got off bloody lightly. And as for engaging the audience, then, when it comes to YouTube live streams and such like, I would have thought that I wasn't the person you would want to aim that criticism at. Because of all of the YouTube people that I'm aware of, I would have thought that I'm probably one of the ones who does that a little bit more than some. I don't know. Maybe Hubnut is much better at engaging the audience than me. But then I don't think about it as an audience. It's a community. You're my friends. This is our time together. And I just thought it seemed a little bit unforgiving, and I felt guilty and upset and slightly miffed at the same time. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Mustard. Mustard just pinged me and said he'd love to give me a blowjob right now. And that's very kind. I'm not really in the mood, mate. but I appreciate the thought. He didn't really say that. He said a hug. You know, you knew that. So, you know, hopefully it will all blow over. And it did occur to me today that, yeah, I might have triggered something. He might have had bad what's it with pets. And yeah, that did occur to me. But anyway, you know, it's all over. I mean, there's, yeah, I just hope he comes back very soon and we can just move on. I'm so, you know, oh, I'll suck his toes or something to. God. Oh, bless you, Neil. You are wonderful. Where did I get to? I agree, says Neil. You act like a big puff. Do I? Oh, hang on. Sorry. You act big and tough, but deep down you're turning into a massive softy. Yeah, well, that's age for you. I'll have to get some of those little blue pills, won't I? But Boat loves you, Mustard, and he will show it when he opens that parcel. I'm looking forward to this. I'd make a joke at this point, says Barry, but I think everyone is a little sensitive at the moment. I'm not reading that one out. The Lexus Sorter was so quiet and smooth when you gave it the beans. I loved that car. I loved the car. At the time that I filmed that, oh, that's what I was talking about, wasn't I? I was talking about that video. At the time that I filmed that, I had my fleet was right. There was yeah. The fleet was I had a Lexus. They were all Lexus. I had an LS 430 at that point. Might have still been the original 400, but I think it was the LS 430 at that point. I had an RX 300, I think. I either had the RX 300 or I had the import version, which was actually called a Toyota Harrier, I think. Bad engineering thing. It was a Lexus RX 300. 3 litre V6, 4x4, every toy and gadget known to man. The Toyota Harrier, which I actually preferred the import version because it had the flappy paddle gearbox. That was the one that Maggie blew up on the M60, I think it was, because she was inadvertently pressing the buttons and managed to do 100 mile an hour or more for quite a long time in second or third gear. Not sure how long she did it for, but she did it until the gearbox and the engine very much blew up into very small pieces. So after that happened, I bought, I couldn't find an import version, so I bought an RX 300, which I then owned for a lot of years, probably the best car I owned. And I also owned 2 SC 400s, aka Lexus Soras, which, for those who don't know, the picture is in the thumbnail. That was the one that I called the Beast, and it was 4 litre naturally aspirated V8, and it was, as somebody pointed out, a real waft machine. More than quick enough, more than enough power to get you into trouble. The first night that I bought that one, that was the Beast was the first one I owned. I did buy another one subsequently. I took it to the casino the first night, and then coming back down the parkway onto the Dronfield bypass on a moist late evening, I thought, right, let's see what this will do down the bypass. Booted it coming out of the island, booted it just a little bit too early, lost traction on the rear, spun it twice, but nothing to do with skill, pure accident. spun it twice. It stayed on the road and ended up pointing forward. There was no other traffic about, and I carried on as if nothing had happened. But I did love that car, and I had it quite long term. And when I eventually sold it, um, I sold it to a member of the Red Arrows. Very nice chap, and we did quite a complicated deal because I had a previous thing with the Reds when I was with Lisa. Um, Obviously, because her, because of that connection there, they were based at her airport. She'd dated the previous, whatever you call it, commander, whatever. So I used to socialize with all the boys. So we had a lot of, and he ended up buying the car, and we did a deal where there was more than money changing hands. There were, including, and I don't have it anymore. I eventually sold it, but I had a Zippo lighter. The Reds at that time only ever did one tour of America, and they flew in formation over the Statue of Liberty, and the New York Authority or Council or whatever had Zippo make a lighter for every member of the squadron, which were engraved with the image of the Red Arrows flying over the Statue of Liberty. It had a particular name. I can't remember what it is. And part of the deal on that sorter was I got that lighter, which had never been used in all of the presentation box. I ended up selling it after the divorce when I was really, really, really skint and had bills to pay, and got really good money for it as well, in fairness. But that was the fleet at that time. That was my fleet. And then Mrs. Boaty had Big Mama, which was a Toyota Previa, and that was the family bus. And she had Black Betty, which was the Unos Roadster I bought her as a Valentine's Day present. And there you go. I made that little video. I had to go at YouTube 10 years before I had to go at YouTube, and I didn't even remember. So that video was from February 2013. Gosh. And it was really weird watching it back. Very weird, actually. And very weird listening to myself. And I didn't swear once. How good was I? But I did admit to smoking in the car, something I would never do now. Oh dear. I quite enjoyed putting it up though. Oh, and to answer the question, yeah, I would love to have I would love to have that car back, or a Lexus. Or I loved Lexus. I loved my fleet. I loved them all. Um, I did the LS, the saloon. What a fantastic car that was. I was doing the road trips to San Sebastian then, and the best one was in the LS 430. That was, God, what an amazing road trip car! It was before the French police went mad with the speeding, and I was just sitting down the toll roads just with the cruise control set to like 130, with Mum and Maggie in the car. I think Maggie was necking a bottle of. Maggie kind of nestled into the back seat, really made herself comfortable. The first trip we did, then Mum insisted on going in the back. You know, husband and wife should be together in the front. But when I got the LS, Maggie realised the possibilities of sitting in the back. So in the back of an LS, you've got kind of a wine rack and wine glass thing. You open up the centre armrest, and there's a wine bottle holder in there, and there are wine glass places. So for the first LS trip, Maggie swapped places, and she had a high old time. She wasn't one for road trips really, whereas my mum was. She loved them. So that was the best of all worlds. We had I had Mum in the front, and the conversation would be flowing. Mum would be telling me to go faster, even when I was doing 130. And Maggie would be in the back seat, quietly getting squiffy on a bottle of Rioja and dozing periodically. I loved the RX. I thought that was a fantastic car. And the RX has got to be the car that I owned the longest, because that went all through the marriage. It went through the divorce. I had the RX when I met Boo. First time I met her family, and I took them all bowling. That was in the RX. I still had the RX when we moved to the Cabbage Patch in Matlock Bath. I loved that car, and I only got rid of it eventually because it had been stunningly reliable, but it had some service parts that needed replacing, and I just couldn't afford to do it. The exhaust, I'd had the exhaust welded for about 4 or 5 years running. And then it got to the point where it just couldn't be welded again, and it was like $2,000, and there was no way that I could do that. But it was an amazing car. I think I paid. I can't remember what I paid for it. I can't remember. I paid strong money for that one because I bought it absolutely Mr. Retail, but it was the exact car that I wanted, the exact spec that I wanted. Paid really strong money for it, but even when I sold it, spares or repairs, I got really strong money for it because it was still a super clean car. I really looked after that. And that was when I started the Bangonomics thing. And the first car I bought then was, so I'd had like a clear down. I'd done all of my dough, setting us up at the Cabbage Patch in Matlock Bath. So whatever money I had from the court cases, Sainsbury's, whatever, that had gone in setting up the house. And fully into Bangonomics mode then. First car I bought from Manchester, paid 500 quid for it. So I've sold the RX. I scrapped, I think I had, again, when I met Boo, I had two Jaguars, two S-types, one 3-litre manual, one 2.5 auto. I scrapped both of those. What else did I have? I think that might have been it at the time. And went into Bangonomics. First car I bought, Manchester, 500 quid, an 03 plate or 53 plate, Ford Fiesta 1.4 Z-Tech, I think it was, who we called Shelby Ford, and he was an absolute little belter of a car. And he was our only car for a while. So he was our work car, the daily car, the family car, everything. And it was only a little 3-door Fiesta thing, but he was absolutely fabulous, absolutely cracking car. And then I bought, when I started grafting properly at the restaurant, I bought, additionally, I bought a Fiesta, a Ford Fusion, the Fiesta in a top hat. So I thought that'd have a little bit more room, 5 doors, a bit more room for the family and whatnot. And then I bought a KA and that was for Boo, and that was because Boo was learning to drive, and so I bought the KA for Boo as her first car, and that was silver. That was the first silver car. Then I bought a C-Max, a really nice C-Max Gear X thing with all sorts of fancy bits and pieces. And that was the fleet that, oh, and I bought a Focus. I really wanted an ST170. Couldn't find one, or couldn't stretch to it. And this is when cars were stupidly cheap. So I bought a Ford Focus 2-litre gear with the black top lump. So same engine and power to all intents and purposes as the ST, but this was a 5-door, had a 5-speed box, not the 6-speed box. But it was a gear, so it had all of the gear bits and pieces. And that was silver as well, so I'd gone off on the silver thing then. And that was kind of the state of play when Boo and I split up. And I came back here to Windy Bum. Thank God I never let this place go. And then that fleet then, what happened then? The first Rover came along, which was Sir Arnold, the 75, by accident. My mechanic made me buy it. Then Chinese Madam came along, and then Sheeson came along, and then whatever I called the Galaxy that Chinese Madam wanted me to buy so I could ferry Chinese students to and from the airport. Her mad business ideas. I loved that Galaxy actually, and it was a really nice one. Shouldn't have got rid of that. And then you know the rest. I just hope Cheeseburger will still bring me to the yard now, says John, and I'm sure he will, but if he doesn't, don't worry about it. I will. The best water sports in the world. Oh, good one, Black Lines. Video title. Jeremy Clarkson invited me over for a water sports session. I woke up soaked. Let's screenshot that. I had a vivid dream. That explains everything. The YouTube algorithm is going to have a field day tonight. Oh, Trace, bless you. I'm sorry you got the lurgy, my lovely. Video title: I had a dream and woke up very moist. If you would let me be the moderator, say Skick, I could let you know when you're going on too long. That's the point, Skick, right? You might think I'm going on too long. Cheeseburger might think I'm going on too long. Do I think I'm going on too long? No. If I did, I would stop. And this is what I said to Cheeseburger in the comment. It's not always about you. Sometimes I'm selfish and it's about me. And sometimes I'm talking about something that I want to talk about for the length of time that I want to talk about it. And I kind of think that when you give up as much time as I do for this sort of thing, that I would have thought that you guys might forgive me the odd 30 minutes of rambling. And I think most of you do. So I don't want to be alerted when I'm going on too long. I'm not doing this for my job. I'm hanging out with friends. I mean, you're more than welcome to say, shut up, Boaty, you've been banging on about this for 20 minutes. I love that. Skick, you'd ban everyone, said Black Lines. And Trey says, but going on too long for whom, Skick? I like some of Boaty's rambles. Sorry I'm late, says Joe. Just got back from work. How are we all? Joe's got a new job. Oh, am I allowed to tell him, Joe? You haven't told him, so I shouldn't. But I hope you had a good night. I can remember when waking up stiff meant something more interesting. Dear. It's easy to check the brake fluid reservoir, says Mustard. Yeah, well, I'll find out how to do that tomorrow. And the other thing that I'm going to do, people keep shouting at me and telling me that I must change the temperature sensor. So sorry. On Lewis Hamilton. The most recent person shouting at me said, and literally shouted in capital letters, change the temperature sensor. It'll only cost about a tenner and it'll probably cure it. And, you know, it might well. So I had a quick look online, and indeed they appear to be anywhere between £6 and £13, depending on whether you get the original one or an aftermarket or whatever. And Yes, that's right, Neil. Well, obviously it's right. You know what you're talking about. I don't. Yeah, the temperature sensor is the thing that tells the auto choke whether to, you know, add a load of fuel or air or whatever auto chokes add. And the fact that it's sometimes going under, sometimes going over, to my logical mind would suggest that the people shouting at me are correct. And the temperature sensor would be a good bet. And more to the point, if it's a 13 quid part, or even less than that, under a tenner, then it makes sense to change that at the very least. Oh, okay. I must have missed that, Joe. But at the very least, we could eliminate it from our inquiries, as it were. And so I had a look, and it looks like a 10 millimeter spanner socket Dewberry thingy. So I'm going to be a big brave boy. When I get some money, oh, money, bad subject at the moment. You know, I appeased the vengeful gods of the overdraft on Monday, as you know. I didn't appease them well enough, apparently, because I went way over my overdraft limit today, and unfortunately, a direct debit bounced as well. So yeah, it's low tide at Cash Pay, and I haven't got any money to pay in. So yeah. Oh, and I got a quote for motor trade insurance. I've got two policies coming up for renewal. So I thought, right, now is probably the best point to just switch over and get trade insurance. The last quote I had um, with Tradex, who I was insured with for like 20 years, I'm still on their books, on their records. Last quote I had was 2,300 quid for the policy that I needed. So obviously I was paying it in installments, and it was like I think it was a £460 deposit, something like that. Blah blah blah. So I rang up today just to get a definite quote. One of my policies that's coming up for renewal has got 11 years no claims on it, so I thought that might bring it down a bit. It didn't. Rang up, uh, spoke to the guy, and he was talking about the cars, and he said, you know, have you got, do you deal in anything high performance? No. Do you deal in anything? No, no. Old M, he said just old MG, because obviously this would be insuring my personal cars as well. It would do everything. That's kind of the point of it. I said, no, it's just old MG Rovers. The most powerful thing that's there is a ZT190. Other than that, it's just all old MG Rovers. Oh, and Land Rover Freelander. What? Land Rover Freelander. Ah, right. If you've got a Land Rover, we need to put you onto the highest insurance group possible. I said, well, for an old diesel Freelander. For those who don't know, Land Rover insurance has gone through the roof in the last 6 to 12 months for various reasons. And it's very unfair when it comes to when it comes to something like a Freelander. So you get something like poor old, what's his name, James, you know, an old knackered diesel Freelander, and that's considered the same insurance risk as a 6 month old Range Rover super duper special thing. So because I own a Land Rover, my insurance quote this time was £4,400. So that's kind of that. Just means that it's absolutely not not a possibility. So there we are. So it looks like I'm sticking to the old. Anyway, there we are. Could have been worse, says Barry Scratter Boaty. You could have been trapped on Clarkson Island in your dream. That was so funny. Clarkson Island was, I think it was, well, it was Harry Enfield, but I think it was not in Harry Enfield's own. I think it was in Harry and Paul Clarkson Island, and that was really funny. Really funny. Barry says, my dreams tend to involve Sarah Michelle Gellar and a jar of honey. Evening, Mr. Boaty McPodger and friends, says Stephen S. Paul. To be fair, says Barry, Boat does pretty well. I couldn't do it. Has anyone seen Matt Furious Driving's video? Finally got P6 going. I haven't, but I did see the thumbnail when I was clicking onto my live saying it's driving and it's fast or something like that. What's happened? I've missed what's gone on, says Joe. The package could be a bomb. Hubner also has his other half reading comments, so it's easier for him. Don't know, predict Boaty, says Mustard. It's something wibbly and wobbly, like clothing-wise or a towel or something. Oh, okay. So Joe's telling everybody about the new job. So he explained about the bus thing going a little bit titties up. So I now work for Tesco as a delivery driver. Hands down, best job I've ever done. Great play plus skill pay on top. And I have a fantastic contract, so I'm over the moon. And yeah, I spoke to Joe about this. That was a job that I did with Sainsbury's, and it is a fantastic job. Brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really glad for you, Joe. You did have quite a baritone voice, says Neil, talking about that video. The best Lexus I ever drove was the LFS when I went to the press release of it at the time that the oh god, I'd love to drive one of those. I would love to drive. I bet it was amazing. Well done, Sophie and Joe, on your jobs, says Trace. I've never driven a Lexus, says Captain Mustard. I did drive a £42,000 today, though, but I don't know what that £42,000 thing is. I mean, Lexus are just, they're just the best car in the world, aren't they? That's what they were designed to be, and that's absolutely what they are. I had a Lexus quite early on, and I just thought that it was a different world, to be honest, and I've always loved them ever since. I remember watching a documentary, and a huge team of people were employed, and they spent 6 months just working on the door shut sounds and the shape of the key. And I thought, this is what I want in a car. And the first Lexus I ever bought was an LS400, and I just thought it was stunning. I've had quite a few over the years, and I absolutely adore them. And I would go back to Lexus in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, my love. But I kind of priced myself out of the Lexus market by allowing myself to become too poor. And they're just so reliable and well engineered. I mean, they're the best engineered car in the world, without question. They're just stunningly good, stunningly good. They make many other cars look a bit silly. I had money when I had my first Lexus. So I was comparing it with cars that I owned, things like a Bentley Turbo R, and it just made it look silly in most substantive ways. I mean, the only thing it lacked was the heritage and kind of sense of occasion, I suppose. Although it did bring its own sense of occasion, and they're just so incredibly good. And that was across the range. I'm out of touch with Lexus now, but I certainly never drove a bad one. I loved the IS200, never owned one, but I dealt loads of them. And I thought they were fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I loved the second generation GS, the 300, never owned one, always planned to. Um, and then the 400 I loved, the 430 I loved, the SC, so LS, SC, and I love the RX. And my plan was sometimes when I daydream about, having loads of money, then my two daily cars, my two daily, not every, well, my two sensible cars. When I go through everything in my mind, I normally come back to the same thing. I always flirt with Range Rovers and whatnot, but my two cars would be parked out there would be a Lexus RX, obviously one of the very latest hybrid ones, and parked out there would be my work car, my daily, and that would be, believe it or not, a thing, an Igo, Toyota Igo. I love them. I think they're amazing. I think they're fantastic. That was my Malta car. That's what I drove all the years I went to Malta, and I love them. I think they're amazing. Oh God, pinch and punch, says Black Lines. Yeah, that's it. January is gone. We're into February, shortest month. February will whiz by, darlings, and then we're into March and St. David's Day and the true beginning of spring. There'll be daffodils. The world will be wonderful. I can't wait. Uh, Oh, well, I mentioned this, didn't I, Joe? And the Tesco job is hands on, so helping me keep active as I'm on a weight loss journey. Already lost 3.5 stone. So life is really looking up at the moment, which makes a change. Good for you, Joe. I told you, and it's true, when I started working at Sainsbury's, I was at the heaviest I've ever been. And in 6 months of doing that job at Sainsbury's with no change to diet or anything else, I lost 6 stone. I went from 19 and a half to 13 and a half stone. And I became a lot stronger because with Sainsbury's, at least at the time, it was a really, really, really physical job. Physical enough that the weight would just fall off you without you having to look at your diet or anything like that. So it'll do you the world of good, Joe, and I'm really pleased for you. I had a Lexus IS 200 Sport, which was a nice little car for its time. W plate 2000. Not fast, but manual and rear wheel drive was quite fun. I thought they were brilliant. Jason, will you be at the yard on the 19th of Feb? Probably. What's in the Amazon parcel? We're going to find out in a minute. I'm not reading that out. Land Rover insurance policies have been cancelled for no reason at all, says Joe. And Land Rover themselves won't insure their own car. It is a bit mad. Stick Boo on her own insurance and have trades on everything, says Neil. Might not be a bad shout. That doesn't make much sense. Tell them the Freelander is gone and try again. Oh, Jimmy. Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, well, I've caught up with the comments. I'm going to open the parcel and then I'm going to bugger off and get some supper. Oh, gosh, it's been one of those days. Oh. But seriously, all of you who are dealing with anything at all at the moment, my heart goes out to you. Good. Thank you for whatever it is you've sent me or us. Right, it's a t-shirt. What size is it? It's XXL, so might fit me. Shall I look first or shall I show you? Swap the Freelander for Barney. Again, not a bad show. Um, the thing is that when the Freelander insurance comes up for renewal, the ones I've got for renewal at the moment are Wet Leg. That's with Footman James on a classic policy, gone up quite a bit. In with Wet Legs Insurance now, as it's a classic, is Lewis Hamilton. And then the next one coming up later in February is Stigbert, and he's gone up as well. They're all just going up. And Stigbert's got 11 years no claim. That's gone up from 240 quid to 400 and something. Mad. I'm going to try and conglomerate them all with, or as many as I can, with Footman James. But realistically, with the way insurance prices are, I'm just going to have to thin out the fleet. I can't afford to run all of the cars that I'm running. I've been getting away with it for too long. I do need to thin them out. I need to let a few go. So yeah, but my concern with Boo is that when that insurance comes for renewal, it's going to be uninsurable realistically. But hey ho. Okay, right. Let's have a look at this T-shirt. I love this. All dignity is left. Good point, Ivor. Mustard does need an I Love Boaty T-shirt now. That's what we need to buy. Mustard and I Love Boaty T-shirt. Wear that on Monday. I will. Skick, you're a genius. You're an evil genius. You're the kind of evil genius that would have defeated James Bond. You need to wear them to Istanbul. I love this. This is the best thing ever. I love the big heart. Oh, God. Skick, that is fabulous, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Well, I guess I know what I'm wearing to the car shows then. Oh, I'm so glad about this. This has really ended things on a good note. Wear them at Untival, absolutely. Right. I need to find out where this came from because we've got to get a matching one with I Love Boaty. Otherwise, it's unfair billing. I do. I demand that mustard has to wear an I love Boaty. Isn't it fabulous? Skip. That's. Oh, okay. Okay. Merchandise for Untival, asks Joe. Mustard needs a shirt that says Boaty floats my boat. I wish I could hear Mustard's laughter now. Mustard will probably be going up trying to get one of these made for his wife. I think the shirt should be pink, says Jimmy Quinn. Isn't this fantastic? Skick, thank you so much, mate. Oh God, your little gift. Of, this one is even funnier than the book, and the book is one of the best things ever. And we are still going to do that video series on that book, by the way. That is a really funny joke, and I will make sure that Skip gets full credit for it. Oh, well, there's the video title, isn't it? I love mustard. How could the video title be anything else? Oh, Tracy's on one thinking out the next ones. Mustard is hot stuff. that's that's quite clever, actually. Mustard is hot stuff. God, what have we started? What have we started? Actually, Skicker started what Mustard and I should have started ages ago if we were better businessmen. Skick, you should be our merchandising manager. Never mind moderator, you should be our merchandising manager. Oh, that has literally made my day. That's going into pride of place in the wardrobe. Only for use at the yard and car shows. Maybe only car shows. Okay. I can't say too much, darlings, but watch this space is all I can say. Certain wheels are in motion. This is brilliant. Right, my lovely. God, 35 of you still here. That's incredibly flattering. Oh dear. I went to the Yard of Dreams and got mustard on me. Not many folk can say that mustard is blocking their view of the pleasure garden. Oh, Ben's on form. I like my mustard spicy. Keep those ideas coming. I hear you're a King Condiment superfan now, Father Borticus. Come to the yard, Skick, says Mustard. That would be a great day. Skick at the yard. I'd come and get you myself, mate. And I can't wait for next Monday. Don't, John, seriously, don't worry about the cheesy thing. I'm sure it will all blow over very quickly. I'll do whatever I need to do. Oh, hold on. Oh my God. Oh, and a comment from, oh, I thought this had been deleted. Apparently it hasn't. Don't quote me in the title and take the rise behind my back. You are better than that. Hmm. Didn't realize I was taking the rise behind. Right. Am I missing something here? I don't know. Okay. Well, sorry, I'm not laughing at that comment. I'm laughing at what Neil has just sent me. Oh my God. Okay. It's all kick it off. Um, Paul, I'm going to say it now so you don't hate me later. Sorry, says Neil. Oh, Tracy has been a channel member for 11 months. Bless you. Thank you for that. Joe has been a member for 5 months. Thank you for that. Honest Deck has done it again. Chapeau Skick. I completely agree with that. Who wrote that comment, says Joe? Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger wrote that comment. I wasn't aware that I was taking the rise behind anybody's back. God almighty, this online stuff it just gets a bit needlessly messianic, doesn't it? And I'm not sure it counts as doing anything behind anybody's back when you're doing it on a public live stream. And I'm not aware I've said anything. Well, anyway, there we are. There we are. All right, darlings, it is time to say good night. So start saying your goodbye, goodbye. I'm leaving you goodbye, goodbye. Start saying your goodbyes. It's God, it's 20 to 1. Dear oh dear. And I was up early after dreaming about Jeremy Clarkson. He didn't smell the way that I thought he would. And on the whole, I think that's a good thing. And annoyingly, Lisa Hogan wasn't there. Ooh. I mean, well, I would anyway. Right, my lovely. That is it for today. Skick, you're a legend. Trace, thank you for 11 months of support. Joe, thank you for. John, listen. John, please, please, please don't worry. Okay? Whatever happens, I promise you will get there. All right? Don't let your anxieties go mad. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Neil, back me up here. John will get to the yard on Monday, won't he? No matter what. Neil, help me out. John, honestly, there is no way that I will let you not get to the yard. I promise you. Promise. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Gosh. Oh. Right. I think the best thing we can all do at this point is to have some dinner, head down to Winchester, have a drink, wait for it all to blow over, and tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, same time, same place, Thursday Night Live, everything will be all fine and dandy. I'm sure of it. So, one more look. Oh, and just to add to the comments, Cheeseburger, if you're watching this, I miss you too. And it isn't the same without you. And please come back. Like immediately, or at least tomorrow. Or if you were here and you weren't commenting, please comment. Call me an aunt. Call me anything. It's whatever's happened. Everybody else. not everybody else. We all love you, so don't. Oh, and John's panicking now. 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Everything will be grand. Right, I really do need to get off, darlings. It's 20 to 1. You guys need to get to bed. I need to get some supper, get some sleep. God only knows what's going to be happening with me tomorrow morning. I mean, James May might invite me to a water sports party and all right. Okay, darlings, that is it. Apologies for all of these shenanigans at the beginning of this. I've got no idea what was going on with the thing. I'll try and delete the other one and sort things out. And tomorrow the world will make a lot more sense. Wishing, with the illness and news and possible news, and I just wish you all a safe, peaceful night. And I hope you get some rest. And I can't wait to see you all tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. Right, let's all go. And much love from me. Bye-bye. Oh, and of course, for you, and indeed, Bosh.